So now that Gears of War 2 is done, the internal vibe from Epic is cautiously optimistic because there's a lot of expectations to match up to from the first game, seeing as it's 94% average review score, over 5 million copies sold, and the hype train was very much in effect for the first game, and it seems like we delivered on that. And now the hype train, woo-woo, is in full effect for the sequel, and we're really like, okay, I think we have something really special, I think we have something amazing, and there's just a tremendous amount of anticipation to live up to. The first game really helped establish the cover shooting system as kind of a viable way to play a shooter, really kind of extended people's expectations of what they could get out of a game that was kind of a playable Hollywood summer blockbuster with, you know, integrated co-op and story and cool camera moves like the roadie run and the point of interest button and all that stuff, and we're really stepping it up a few notches in the sequel, and I think people are really going to be pleasantly surprised. Continuing from Gears 1, if you look at Gears 1, it was kind of a Resident Evil meets Kill Switch type of a formula, with of course a little bit of a Band of Brothers, Medal of Honor type thing in there too, but you know, now that we've established the characters, the gameplay mechanics, the universe, now it's time to have fun with it. We're not questioning and saying, do we have cover? Or who are you fighting alongside? We know those basic rules now. We can kind of kick it into overdrive in every single department and really make the cover system shine and continue to polish it off till it shines. I'm often quoted as for some reason saying that Gears would be a trilogy, but I never actually said that. There was somebody at Microsoft that made some sort of comment like that, but that's not the case. We're taking it very much on a game-by-game basis. If Gears 2 comes out and sells like hotcakes and has great reviews, then we'll consider doing a third, but we're not really saying anything about any of our future plans. At the same time, narrative-wise, each game needs to be a satisfying entity in and of its own space, and I can guarantee that Gears 2 does answer a lot of questions for the universe, but at the same time it does raise a few questions. Gears of War 2 is not coming to the PC, ever. Honestly, just at this point, from our business standpoint, it doesn't make a lot of sense right now to put the amount of effort into doing a PC version. I mean, you know, it's one of those situations where the PC market is so scattered between the different hardware configurations and things like that, that we'd rather continue to have a console focus as a company. It's pretty safe to say that Epic is a console-focused company that does still support the PC in other ways in regards to Unreal Tournament 3 coming out on the PC and whatnot, but Gears of War will remain a console franchise. Movies are a very interesting business, and you know, acting as executive producer on a video game adaptation has been a learning process because Hollywood initially starts off with a hell of a lot of phone calls, and then from there out you start working and cycling on a script, and right now the script is just being worked on, and that's the stage of development that we're in, and we're really, you know, there's not a lot more to say right now other than that I have a lot of confidence in the talent that's attached to the project. I think Chris is an excellent writer, he's a very smart guy who gets the franchise, and Len is a visionary director who also happens to be a hell of a guy. When you look at making a video game and you look at you know, having a narrative in a game, if you have a great video game but a crappy narrative, you still have a great video game. If you have a movie that has a bad narrative, you just have a bad movie. But in a video game, if you can tie a great narrative and a great game mechanic together, you have an all-time classic. And I think movies, of course, they have to depend a lot on what the story and the character and the acting and the motivation are. You know, sometimes games can get away with not really having to deal with that. But as of late, with I think what gamers expect out of a game in 2008, I think you damn well better care about your fiction, you better care about your writing and your acting, and deliver on all fronts.